how I train in my 30s. In my 20s, I trained through everything. No pain, no gain. I ignored discomfort, not because I was injured, but because I thought that's what the process required. But in my 30s, I noticed that training stopped being about pushing through, but actually started being about building a foundation. So in your 30s, stiffness increases, joints feel different. It's like they need to wake up. It takes a longer time for them to wake up. That's why I stopped chasing intensity, right? But started training more so in this order: stability, mobility, and then strength. So stability equals safety first, right? Stability means better control for improving your balance inside and also outside of the gym. But then it comes with also breathing. Breathing helps reduce levels of stress. And then that also creates trusting the work being done, right? Repeatable movements. This also allows you to feel confident in the gym, but also taking that outside of the gym into real life, being more confident in your job, being more confident walking down the street, being more confident in moving a box and picking up your children, things like that. It changed the quality of life. So stability in our workouts help us focus on control, balance, and doing intentional workouts, being more mindful of your movements. This strengthens the nervous system and helps reduce stress and gives you this can-do mindset. So like if I don't feel stable, I rush, and rushing is where pain starts. Nervous system started feeling out of whack, right? Just imagine how when you're rushing to get things done, you're trying to rush to work, the inevitable happens, right? So things start happening. You probably forget your keys in the house, so you have to go back and get them. Then you run into traffic, then you feel irritated. Then your coffee might spill on you. Then you're rushing into work, you might drop something. When I think about rushing, I think about that. So thinking about rushing in the gym, it's the same thing. Like your form isn't at its best. You feel like you're just going through the movements really fast. So you don't feel intentional. You don't have that mind muscle connection. So here are some workouts that really ground me when it comes to stability, which is Pallof press and also split squats. I love split squats. I think the last year I've been so infatuated with them. I've done every possible form of split squat you can think about, even like jump split squats. So the Pallof press teaches my core to resist movement. It helps me stay steady, breathe, and control. So my torso, instead of it twisting or collapsing under the load, it also helps build anti-rotational strength, which we talked about in my last video or the video before that. And then it also improves bracing while under tension. I actually saw someone make a TikTok video about core stability and how bracing under load can feel uncomfortable. So this would made me want to do a video about stability and also really understanding bracing too. I actually might make a separate video about that because it was really helpful when it came to my back squats, helped me feel steady. It also helps with control with your core and help you feel strong. And also it creates a stable base for your lifts, like squats and also presses like we were just talking about. And then when it also comes to split squats, which is a lower body stability workout, split squats train stability one side at a time, right? So a couple of videos ago, maybe with my last video, we talked about unilateral movements, and maybe we'll do that again because those are like my favorite types of exercises. But they show me imbalances and teach my hips and knees how to control load before I even add weight. In the beginning of this program, I did split squats without any weight, and then as I progressed and found that I could do more reps, right, I started to add weight slowly. I feel like this is a great workout for beginners, so that's why I added into the one set of 20, but also I elevated it into the 6-month continuum. And also I love adding these into my one-on-one coaching programs. Why does the split squat matter? They improve balance and joint control. They reduce compensations in those bilateral lifts. And then also they build confidence in each leg independently. That's amazing. So when my core and legs can stay steady here, right, everything else feels stronger and I feel safe. Isn't it amazing to feel this way inside the gym? So just imagine how you feel outside of it. This is like my framework behind like exercising in general, just not for like bone density and bone health, but also in like helping you create a stable foundation in your everyday life. So before I like ramp on about stability, next we're going to talk about mobility, which is a part of training in my 30s, right? I'm sitting all day at a desk. That comes with a lot of aches and pains. So when it comes to mobility, I like to call mobility your position. You're owning that movement. You're owning that bottom position in your squat, okay? It just makes me feel strong. So in our 30s, it's better for us to practice better movements. So in the past, I wasn't stretching or doing even mobility, and it showed. It showed through my lifts, right? I had tight hips, tight hip flexors, weak hip flexors, right? My ankle mobility was really tight, so I wasn't able to do a proper squat or even progress my depth in my squat. Shoulder pain started to show up. So working from home and sitting at a desk all day for most of my day, right? My body was living differently outside of the gym. Like I was more so hunched over. We talk about that a lot. Mobility made my lifts feel like I have more control. Like for example, I own that depth in my squat from implementing more dynamic stretches to help me move better, like plated squat holds. Then I would do plated squat holds with a pulse, right? Do like 5 pulses and then go into that deep squat. Then I did a lot more ankle mobility, dorsiflexion, hip mobility, right? It gave me more access that I actually could control. Here's how the hinge to squat and also the adductor rockbacks helped me with mobility and helping me moving better. I just bought some more electrolytes. I'm so happy. My camera's about to die, so we're gonna see if we can tape this in one setting. So with the hinge to squat, this is a workout I started recently adding into my program, like 4 weeks in, 5 weeks in. That's when I was like, let's try a hinge to squat. I like to introduce myself to a new mobility workout at least once a month and really like hone in on it. So the hinge to squat helps me transition smoothly and from moving my hips back to moving my hips down, okay? So it connects your hinging, which is like the deadlift pattern, to squatting, which is like a daily movement. Standing up from your desk, sitting down from your desk, sitting on the sofa, sitting down. We sit like most of the time, which is not like a normal position for a human being at all. Like we're just crouched like that. So that's why I think this mobility workout is essential in any routine, especially after the age of 30, right? It improves hip control instead of collapsing into the bottom half, right? And then teaches your body how to sit, stand, lift with more confidence, right? It turns separate movements into one fluid pattern that becomes recognizable. Our body's like, yeah, I'm used to doing this. Then you have Adductor rockbacks. I went to my brother's session. He's like my mentor, so I like to train under him sometimes and shadow him. But what he has his clients do are adductor rockbacks before any workout. So I was like, let me start implementing this. So it improves your inner thigh and hip control so my hips can move without pulling or shifting, right? This also improves hip mobility when stiffness kind of feels hidden, right? It's usually hidden. And then it helps your knees track better during squats and lunges, reduces that compensation by giving your hips more stability and also range. I'm always looking for an opportunity to work on my range of motion. That helps me move better, play with my nieces better, pick up things better, sit down better, sit up better without feeling restricted. Here come my niece. What are you doing? You got my email? So mobility helps me get into position. Wait, I'm recording. You gotta be quiet while I talk. So mobility helps me get into position. Stability, and then also stability helps me stay there, okay? So next we're going to talk about strength, which is my favorite. I've been chasing strength for so long. Implementing stability workouts and mobility workouts help me become my best when it comes to strength training. So this is where the real work begins. That's all the Chico has ever. I remember my first fitness goal, and it was just to get stronger, right? I wanted to gain more strength. And specifically in my back squat, because I wasn't confident under the bar, but also I felt like that was the best place for me to start foundationally. So in your 30s, strength training is crucial, right? So the typical muscle mass stops or reverses around 30 years of age. Also for women, naturally, they lose bone density too. So here, I like to prioritize compound movements, right? Also here, we focus on proper technique, form first. We're going to get to intensity, but first we're going to prioritize form, movement patterns, things like that. With this comes consistency, right? Consistency is key. Also functional movements where we train for life outside of the gym. I'm all about making everyday tasks easier, like doing your chores, right? Picking up your children, carrying laundry baskets, closing your trunk door, right? Running errands in general, making that task a little bit easier.
I saw someone doing that, and that's a little easier.
So with the 1 set of 20 confidence cycle, we are building strength inside the rep. I take my 4 main lifts.
Diana, every time you love it.
Yes. So I take my 4 main lifts, which are comparable to real life tasks like overhead press, back squats.
Squats all days.
Yes, bent over rows.
Every time big rows will be our day.
Yes. We are building strength inside the rep. So we're doing the 1 set of 20 rep maximum with the main lift. We are building strength through repeatable movements. We are intentional with our reps. So we're doing slower reps to increase the time under tension. So you want to find your like sweet spot. There she is. Your tempo.
Your tempo when you want to learn to poopy.
Your 3-2-1 tempo or the 1-3-1 tempo, whichever one really suits you and your initial goal.
Love me and this is a desire.
Okay. Okay. All right, my turn, okay?
Okay. Therefore, I'm going to say you to shine.
So we are working with moderate load to increase efficiency. We're also building our connective tissue, perfect for beginners in a gym or wanting to learn a new skill, or rehabbers, right? People who may have gotten injured and are getting back into the gym. The 1 set of 20 is perfect. It's also to build confidence under the bar. Strength finally feels good again, right? When I stop fighting my body, we're learning not to fight our body. So how does this show up in real life? Whether you are carrying groceries, picking up things, closing things, right? This also helps with posture, with some intentional programming for surviving desk life. With a warm-up and main lifts, I feel more capable outside of the gym. So my workouts are helping me outside the gym. Training this way didn't just change my workouts, it changed how I feel in real life and do things, right? This is exactly how I coach in my one-on-one training and my 28-day confidence cycle and my 6-month continuum. Stability first, mobility, and strength. Those are my top 3 things. So if you're in your 30s and you want strength that actually feels good, this is where I start. I hope this video was helpful. I hope it was motivational with whoever is starting their fitness journey. And let me know where you are in your fitness journey. Okay, come on. This is the say bye-bye.
Bye.
This is niece number 2.
This is you, Cemetery.
What's your name?
As I get a little older, I realize life is perspective, and my perspective may differ from yours. I want to say thank you to everyone that's been down with me.